Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Everyday Gents. It's your boy Captain, got Melissa there in the back, and today we have a very special guest. His helicopter just flew past us now. He literally just landed from Australia.
As you'll know.
As you can see, he's got the Australian hats and everything on as well. So thank you to Australian Airlines for dropping him off safely here back on his home motherland. You may be familiar with him. He's been doing this for so many years, feeding all the children around the community of Wentworth and surrounding areas as well. And he's got a lot of experience in doing this as well. He always makes the trip back home, and we were lucky to get him on the very last day that he's going to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Uncle Dom. How you doing, Uncle Dom?
Oh, good yourself.
Thank you for being on the show. Appreciate you, man. I saw you got a little bit emotional about that. Talk to us about what you're feeling right now.
You'll all know me as Big Dom, right? But the things I've been through for the community, that I've been through personally, it's a journey you don't know. A lot of personal stuff that I went through, I pushed through. But I was a lot in the church, and for certain reasons, recently, few messages that I got really broke my spirit, and I stopped going to church for quite some time. But God was always here for me, you know. The emotional part is, as the gentleman is saying now, you know, going back to Australia, it's a sore one because I go out and I feed those righties, those children, you know, and the way some of them look at you, it's an emotional thing. Only the person that does it understands how I feel. The emotional part is the connection with the community. Sometimes I will run out of my own funds, and I'll reach out to people to help. And you know, you get people that got big companies, and you reach out to them, and they turn you back. They tell you, unfortunately, they can't assist. And then you get the person that got a small business that will come on board and assist. And when you're feeding those children, and when you're looking after your family, you know, you wonder to yourself, where does our next plate of food come from? Because I haven't been employed since lockdown started. Right, I started feeding in 2005 when I started riding motorbike again with my motorbike club, and I started my food truck up again. And my daughter Celeste, who's now 22, she named the food truck Chow Time, and went up with my biker connections. We fed the kids. I created a thing called an Easter egg run. There's nowhere else in the world that I heard of an Easter egg run. I think I'm the first biker to ever do that, and I see a lot of biker clubs are doing it now. Guys, I appreciate that. And also a local toy run. Before, we used to have a national local toy run in South Africa. I created one here in Wentworth. You know, we also used to go out to Newlands East, to Madden Ridge. I haven't done Sydenham because other friends of mine, they used to cover Sydenham. And we used to get toys from all over and give the local kids in our area, because our local kids used to get left out of a lot of things. A hell of a lot of things, you know. And now that I'm leaving, you know, you think of all that, what's going to happen, because even now for Easter, I didn't give them their Easter eggs or Easter period. I gave them Easter Monday because things were so bad. People were just coming in with, you know, what they could afford. You know, and a lot of companies have been closing. I've seen fathers who have been earning fantastic wages coming to stand in the line. I've seen their kids standing in the line. And someone informed me, hey, Tom, please don't mention. I tell him, no. It's not me to talk about your personal issues. It's me to talk about you having something to put on the table for your children, you know. I used to tell him, even if you don't want to come, send your lights with big bowls. Send them with pots so we can fill those pots up. You know, I know a lot of other feeding efforts, they usually give the polystyrene containers in order for the food to stretch, right? Which I understand 100%. I know where they're coming from. But with me, I'd rather cook like 3 or 4 big pots of food and give a pot of food to per family to last them for the whole family or for the day or for the next day. You know, that is what I was all about. And looking at the future for this country, I can feel it. You know, I can already see that things are going to be very, very tough in time to come. Because with me leaving now tomorrow, the 17th of April, it leaves with a heavy heart because I done my last feed on Sunday. I went out and I fed what I had left, and I gave up polony and stuff. And some of the people are saying, hey, Tom, now you're going to go, you know, what happens? You understand what I'm saying? Not to say that there's no places that are not feeding in Wentworth. There are places that are feeding in Wentworth. There's churches that are feeding in Wentworth. But each association feeds on a different day. You know, now that specific day, when I usually go out and feed, you know, well, usually I used to do like 2 or 3 times a day. Then I cut it down because it was a lot of work for the 2 old ladies that I had working with me. And I cut it down to 1 day. And just that 1 day, let me tell you something now. It's a big gap to wait for a meal, especially us knowing that we get a meal. You know, usually, well, if you can look at me nicely, I look like a karma, you know. So there's plenty other guys out there who are used to always eating, and it's not their choice that they haven't got. You know, it's unfortunate that it's the way it is.
Yeah. Oh, that was very interesting. You said you haven't been working since COVID, right? How do you maintain this business? Twofold question, because number one, how do you maintain it without working? And then number two, how do you maintain it when you go back?
Okay. As said earlier on, that hey, God's grace, honestly speaking. When I say I haven't been working, I haven't been working. I've had phone calls from sponsors who ask me the same question. But Tom, if you're looking after the community, who's looking after you? You know, and people used to personally tell me, and I've had witnesses with me. Whenever the phone rang and a sponsor gave something, I put the phone on hands-free, and I made the people hear what the sponsor's talking about. And they used to tell me, "This is for you and your children." You know. Yeah, and that is how I used to survive. Oxford Fresh Market. Let me tell you something now. Oxford Fresh Market carried Wentworth a hell of a lot. Yeah, they carried me as well. Now that when I was in the Eco Park, Paul and Brett, they got to find out that I'm there, and they were very disturbed. And Paul said to one of the managers there, "Hey, what's going on with Wentworth Community? Tom was staying in the Eco Park, a man that looks after so many people." But it's not that I was down and out. It was my choice to go and live in the Eco Park. Because I didn't want to go stay with my mother. I didn't want to go stay with my brothers. I didn't want to stay with my sister, and I didn't want to inconvenience. And a lot of friends said, "Hey, Tom, come stay with me." I said, "No. I want to live like how our people are living in Wentworth. I want to feel what's it like, and I want to experience that because I had everything. Let me tell you something now. Not to say I haven't got everything. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm 100%. But I needed to experience that to appreciate things more better. That's why it's good if a lot of people try do what I done. Then you'll understand what hard life is. You know? And yeah, getting back to your question, hey, God's grace is here. Yeah, no. The car was moving. The car broke. Hey, look, my car's broken. The car got fixed. The Scooby-Doo one, you know, the colorful one, the engine blew.
Yeah, I've seen that.
When we were coming back from Sydney from picking up stuff, the engine blew. Oxford Fresh Market donated 10,000 towards getting the next Kumbi, the one we got from Cape Town. And I got other people that also came on board. Due to the engine gave problems, Arthur Rennie from Rennie's panel beaters, he sponsored the Toyota engine that was put in that thing, you know. So along the way, I was getting paid back for looking after the community by these people. You know, some of it wasn't financed, but we surviving. As I say, ever could look at me nicely, I'm the end result. I was looking after a lot of people. I was getting looking after myself as well by everyone else. My kids as well for Christmas. They had Christmas gifts. They didn't go without because people gave back to me because I was giving back to the community.
It's just a testament to show what giving can do to a community.
100% correct.
Giving wholeheartedly, not giving to expect anything in return or to expect more. It just goes to show. But I want to ask you, how long is it that you have been doing this, and what made you say, this is what I want to do?
Okay. As said earlier on, 2005, I went back into the biking community. And looking at all the work that bikers do, you know, bikers, being a biker currently, hey, sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, let's just wait until this thing goes.
Yeah, no,
they can answer the question.
They're just keeping an eye on me, you know, because you know it's South Africa, so they're a bit afraid, like I won't make it back to Australia, so they're surveilling the area.
Yeah. Okay, I think you can go.
Yeah, you know, bikers go all out for kids, all out big time. And I saw the need in our area, and I started feeding. And from 2005, I had a security company and a VIP protection company, a security, do investigation, all that kind of stuff. And as I say, I was doing really, really well. And I started giving back into the community. I cooked as often as I could. I used to go to Clearwood. I used to go to Madden Ridge. There's a good few places I've been to, you know, and it didn't stop. It's like when you go to the gym and you train and you see your muscles developing. That is how I felt with feeding the community. Each time I fed, I gave me the children to go out and feed some more because the smiles on the children's faces and appreciation from so many adults. Right, there's a lot of people that talk down on you. There's a lot of people that will always find fault in you. But we never ever gave up. Yeah, we went forward. My children used to help me a lot. And the biking fraternity as well, they used to come on board. And we pushed forward.
How do you view the community now that you've returned? Do you think we're going backward? Do you think we're going forward as a colored community?
I love this question. Okay. I went back to Australia beginning of last year. Okay, I returned in October due to personal things I needed to sort out. And I was supposed to have been here in South Africa for 1 month. I ended up staying 7 months. And looking at how it's going, the theft, the crime, the selfishness of Wentworth itself is really pathetic. Why I'm saying so is because the same people that the small kitchens that are trying to keep open or feeding are stealing from them. They're breaking into their kitchens. They're stealing their pots, their pans, their gas, their stoves, everything. So how do you go about helping people that are coming to steal from you? And what's happening is, instead of the community pointing out, hey, they're all taking your stuff and running away with it, the people are sitting back and they're keeping quiet. They're not saying it. So how does Wentworth progress? How does Wentworth move forward if they don't speak up? You know. Secondly, feeding places are scared to have feeding places anymore because people are standing in a line waiting for a meal. They get these youngsters driving past. They think they're on TV, shooting recklessly, and innocent people are getting shot and killed. So basically, Wentworth is actually moving backwards. You know, we're supposed to be moving forward in a way that let's look each other, be our brother's keeper.
Yeah.
But no, the people within the area are bringing guys from outside to harm their own brothers who they grow up with.
Yeah.
So Hey, I see Wentworth, if they don't pull up their socks now, if fathers don't get together and deal with the situation now, Wentworth's going to be...
I think also because, as you spoke about fathers getting together, unfortunately, for instance, becoming a community of a fatherless nation. Most of the fathers are either in jail or affiliated with the wrong people to survive. And I've always believed that they had the right intentions, in terms of getting into this life in the beginning to feed their families, but then they didn't understand that once you get into it, there's pretty much only one way out. And that's what we end up seeing, because the problem what I've seen here, I've never ever worked in like the construction industry and stuff like that, but a lot of our men work in industries like that, mechanics, construction, or whatever, where the job is not always consistent. You go to Secunda 6 months, you come back, you're sitting. You go to engine when there's a shut, you come back, you're sitting. So that period of sitting, the women become more and more demanding, especially nowadays type of women. It's
True.
not like women of before.
Mm.
The women were in the house, they knew that they got to look after the house. Now women are more demanding. They want the social media life. They want to be able to show things. And if you're not able to provide, there's pressure. So our men are going into this thing, easy money, we'll call it, and finding out the hard way. So we have a lot of children that are in schools that don't have fathers, you know. They don't have dads to look up to. And if they do look up to their dads, they're surrounded by that type of life. And so they indoctrinated in that way. They start carrying on like that. So how do we correct that? How do we move forward from that?
Okay, the only way we can move forward in that is got to start in the schools.
Mm.
Got to start in the school, because that is how we were brought up. We were taught in the schools. Discipline starts in the schools. We as youngsters, we didn't spend a lot of time with our parents. Our parents were working.
Mm.
We were mostly at school. When we wake up in the morning, our father's already gone to work. Well, the mother will pull some time, they make your lunch, X, Y, Z, then you go to school.
Mm.
It's what happens in the schools. But some teachers are just there to be models in the school. Most of them are sitting on social media on their phones. They're not even worried what's going on in the class. I know some are going to say, who are you talking about? You know very well what I'm talking about. You know very, very well what I'm talking about. Secondly, some teachers are getting put in certain schools that can't pronounce certain words properly. So how do you teach our children how to speak properly if you can't speak properly yourself?
Mm.
Right? Thirdly, you've got to have some kind of control over a child that is not disciplined. If the child is not disciplined, get hold of self, because nowadays you can't touch a child. Right? And let me tell you something where that comes from. One of these ministers here that are sitting high up in some kind of a gold chair went overseas and saw all those laws that going about in the schools and brought them all here to our country.
Mm.
Our country was 100% success.
Mm.
Look at myself, right? I've never drank, I've never smoked, I've never done drugs. Right? I got my flaws and all that kind of stuff, but I was taught discipline. We all choose our path. But sometimes when you do certain things, you say to yourself, hey, I'm going to be careful, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, and that you get taught at school by strong, stern teachers. Right? Irrespective if your teacher's so short, if she shows some kind of responsibility and done it, even the tallest one in the class will be scared of her.
Mm.
Now that the teachers are scared to say, the child looks at her like in a funny way. No, teachers got to stand together. And if a child wants to get clever, okay, no problem. Leave the classroom, go bring other teachers. Go for the male teacher. Go for all of them and bring the male teacher and say, whatever, okay. You want to have a big mouth, you got to backup friends there. Here's my backup here. What is the child going to do?
Mm.
Yeah, the child got to humble itself. And that is when you call a parent. And the children in the class got to talk up as well. Those that want to be disciplined, those that want to learn, and those that want to really make something of their life, talk up and work together. Because, as you said, some of the fathers, easy money. They see this, that, and all that kind of stuff, stealing cars, buying drugs, what. The children are all learning that now, instead of learning in school.
Mm.
They're seeing what's all on the TV. So they're playing out what they see on TV. Whereas if it starts in school, if the teacher starts teaching discipline, besides the normal Jan van Riebeck went here and he rode a horse and Jack and all that stuff, teach discipline, that's important. And don't take religion out of school. Once you take a religion out of school, then you got problems.
In places like China, they don't teach children curriculum until the 6th grade. From the 1st grade until the 6th grade, they only learn things like discipline, mannerisms. They even literally teach that. So I saw a video where they did a demonstration where they made guys sit, little boys sit down, and then when the girls walked in, the little boys get up off the chair, make the girls sit.
Correct, yeah.
They teach like that. And if there's one boy that's not, doing that, the others will tap him and say, "Hey, get up," and stuff like that. From grade or whatever they start there up until grade 6. I think from grade 6 is when they start learning curriculum. Now, obviously, they learn how to say A, B, C, D and stuff, but I mean actual curriculum like Ranfan, Yanfan, Rebex. But I just want to touch on something. You said it starts in the school. You get those parents that will come and say, "Oh, my child can never do that. You did it." So now you're calling the parents to get involved, but the parents is now defending the child, not realizing they're also enabling the child now.
Correct.
To carry on being like that. So that's where I think there could be also a problem, because I think some teachers would say that probably in the comments, like, yes, we try to discipline, but you can't hit the child now. As you discipline, you call the parent is coming in to fight with you and say, "Not my child," and whatever. So I don't know. It's like it's just a continual spiral, that's back and forth between our community, and it's like it's a virus that just needs to be taken away. I remember back in the days we would have events in the community. The whole used to go dancing. I was a dancer before. You could have fun days. You could have sports days. You don't see that anymore.
No, not at all. Okay, let me. While you are talking, I thought of something. When we went to school, and there was a break-in at the school, which never occurred. If they'd all done something stupid, the community will sort that situation out, finish and clear. But now, my advice to schools and to teachers and to the Department of Education, why don't you take cameras and put them in the classes that got audio as well, in order to protect the teacher, because a lot of children go home and lie about the teachers. Some teachers are getting killed at home because of children's lies. Some teachers are getting hit going home from school because of the children's lies. Whereas if you got that camera in the classroom, you can hear exactly what is going on, because number one, the teacher will watch this. If you want to insult a child, if you want to belittle a child, because you get a lot of teachers like that, they can belittle a child and insult a child. With us, when we were small, "Hey, you'll be nothing when you grow up." I had a teacher like that. She's a neighbor. She's staying down the road. Guess what? I'm staying right next to her. Yes. Yeah. Let me tell you, if you see this, you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, the children as well, when they insult the teachers and run amok with the teacher and all that kind of stuff, they can use that in court. I think when a child at school is out of hand, these things have got to be dealt with in court. Because these children are, it's not like those days. These children know more than they want to come to school and teach the teachers. I'm serious. Too much on social media, TikTok, and I don't know what else. The parents themselves, they know they were brought up in the years of the 80s and going into the 90s. Finished school in 93, 94, around about. No, not 94. I was married that year. Say 89, around about there. You knew the discipline in school. So why do you want to protect your grandchildren and your children, knowing that what they're doing is wrong? If we work with the teachers, if we work with the principal, and if we work with the law, we'll have better schools, we'll have a better community, and we can live.
Okay. If you're enjoying the episode so far, please make sure that you leave a like and subscribe so that we can grow this channel to 500, because as you know, we're on the road to 5 Club. Thank you very much for your support. So we're back here with Uncle Dom, the guy, the man himself who's been feeding the community for many years, since 2005. He's been telling us very interesting stories. If you've just joined us now, please make sure that you go back and watch from the beginning, Tell the people that you're sitting with to play from the beginning, because, yes, I made a grown man cry, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me tell you something now. And This is not a lighty, right? He's a big boy. But you get lighties like this. They call you by your first name, Dominic. This all approached me and he said, Uncle Dom. That shows respect. That shows you was brought up in a home where you get told. Someone you didn't go to school to, you address them as auntie and uncle. And I take my hat off to you.
Thank you.
That's where you can wear those epaulets. I made a big man cry.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the conversation. It's been very interesting. I want to ask you now, so what can you say to people who also want to start something like this? I know we've got challenges in terms of the paras that we operate with here in the scene. But if anybody's interested in starting something like this, how do you start it, especially from nothing?
Okay. The first thing you got to do is you got to pray about it. Very, very important. Because this challenge, I'm telling you now, can wreck you big time. With two things. With people's mouths, the negative talk, and the mental thing. Because the negative talk just makes you not want to do anything. You just get tired, you get weak, you just say, I want to give it up. And the mental thing is, when there's nothing to feed, to cook, you start worrying and you start stressing. Where is the next meal coming from? But because of the prayer that you made earlier on, God provides. And all you do is you just pick up your phone and you make a call to all your sponsors that you got. And one, I guarantee you, one will come on board. Last night, I was laying down. Can I mention names? Is that fine?
Yeah, you can.
A lady by the name of Shida Jazzby. She called me. Hey, Big Dom, how are you, boy? I said, I'm fine, more and you? She said, no, nice, man. I'm just wanting to say goodbye. And before she could go anywhere, I said, Mo, with all due respect, I need to fix you up a little bit. Now, they all know me. I like laughing, joking, and teasing. She said, now, what did I do? I said, I got a phone call from a factory in Clearwood telling me I'm going to come pick up cups of soup, you know? And they said, Shida said that you must come pick up soup. And every time I'm trying to call you to say thank you for the cup of soup, you're not taking my calls. He says, no, son, the reason why I'm not taking your call because of Ramadan.
Oh.
And I hadn't thought of that, you know? But the moral of the story is, look at that. If you think you're going to have nothing, there's always someone out there that is willing to come on board, or there's always someone out there that's thinking of you and they help you out, you know? Don't be scared to approach people, but always be genuine and always be true. Don't be a fly by night. When you see all these things come in and you, certain people get this, certain people get that, be true to yourself, you know? Give it out and put it where it's supposed to go into. That's the only way you'll be successful. And don't be scared to take out of your pocket if you can afford it and give, because it'll come back to you. Give and it'll come back to you. You know, press down, shaking together and running over. Always. That is how I look at myself. You know, look where I am today. Through this whole feeding thing, we're going off a bit from the question you asked me. Through this whole feeding effort during COVID, you know, I reached out to the community on Facebook. A gentleman needed a wheelchair. Okay. And the sponsor sent me a message. Hey, I'm willing to sponsor the wheelchair. And then as time went by, things progressed, XYZ. And then I was offered to go to Australia on holiday. Fully paid for. Don't forget, I'm not employed. Fully paid for. I went on holiday to Australia. The sponsor paid for my visa, paid for my airfare. Even when I was there as well, everything was paid for. You know? And now, what's that? 2020, now 2024. I'm in Australia, you know? And still moving forward. When you start off, show the people your true colors. And you will always have for the community. Always have. You will not run dry.
We're not interested. How did COVID? What impact did COVID have on the feeding? I don't want to call it a business, but on the feeding scheme, they kind of enhance it or help it move forward. Because with COVID, there was a problem getting essential, well, they're only giving essential foods, right? And obviously, if food is essential, it's scarce because there's not many trucks delivering. So sponsors and everything became, I'm thinking it might have become harder, but how did that help? Did it help? Because now there's more people that need the food because they're not working, they put off work, but then there's businesses that are unable to provide because they're unable to get money. So how did that help? Did it help or did it hinder what you are doing?
Okay, let me start from the COVID story. Let's start from the beginning, how this Chow Time community food drive came about. Because I was just Chow Time before. I had a food truck and I used to sell food to biking efforts and Dagwoods and everything, you know. So I bought some stock, and you heard about this COVID that hit different countries, and now we're waiting for the president to address the nation. And I bought stuff to sell, okay? So while watching TV, the president reckons we are now on lockdown. So my son, Grayson, who's now 10 years old, asked, "Hey, Dad, what does lockdown mean?" So I said, lockdown is when prisoners all get kept behind bars and they're not allowed to go anywhere. So he said, "Is that what we're going to be?" I said, "Yes. We're not going to be allowed to go out of our houses. We're not going to be allowed to go, this, that, and other." So he said, "Hey, Dad, and what we do with all the food in the food truck in chow time?" So I said, "Hey, we'll take it and we freeze it." He said, "No, Dad, why we don't go feed the people?" That was my son, you know. And I looked at this youngster. I said to myself, "Hey, this is a good idea, man, you know." I said, "We are feeding people from 2005. Let's take this stuff and let's go and put it back into the community." So woke up in the morning, my daughter Celeste, Grayson, we sat in the back of the yard. We started peeling the stuff. I still got those photos of the day. We cooked a pot of food. I got into the bus, the Iveco, and I drove down to Wentworth, and I pressed my router, and people came out. With that, I put it on social media. And the next day, my Facebook account was like, I don't know how many thousands of people got hold of me. "Hey, how can we help feed the community?" You know, so I told him, "Look, I'm not an MPO. I'm not a GPO. Listen to me nicely. I'm not an MP3, VCD, or a USB. I'm a Luto. I'm a nothing. I'm doing this because I want to. And I've got no bank accounts, but if you like, you can put it into my phone account or you can put it into my personal bank account. But please, when you do that, you got to put donation because I don't want staff to look and say I'm getting money from all over because I'm not working at the time." Right. With that, I got approached by another "We got bigger pots for you. You know, wouldn't you like to purchase these pots?" You know, because unfortunately we can't make. I'm like not feeding a catering company. So I said, "Yes, no problem." So I got hold of one of my sponsors, and they said, "No problem, we will buy those pots for you." They were big unders. So all in all, I had 6 pots, you know. And when I went out feeding, I heard someone say that you've got to have a permit in order to feed. So I went straight to the colonel in Wentworth Police Station. I said, "Colonel, this is what I'm about." And he said, No, Mr. Samuels, I know you very well. You know, I used to come and buy food from your food truck on the bike rallies. In the whole setup of the COVID regulations, it doesn't say that people are not allowed to eat. So I give you my blessings, but at the same time, go to your counselor and ask your counselor for permission. But I'd already been to Aubrey, and Aubrey said, "Dom, I got no issue with that. Go and see the colonel." So I'd already had permission from both people to feed. And he told me, he said that if any of my guys on the floor see you feeding, I will let them know that I'd given you permission to do so. So what happened is SEPS was actually working with me because sometimes, people see when there's food, they want to run and, but SEPS was helping me keep the people in line, advising them with their social distance and all that kind of stuff. And hey, we push forward, man.
Mm.
You know, and then the municipality got to find out about it, and they reckon that we've got to have permits. So I went in, I got a permit made, and then with that, you saw a whole lot of different places all popping up and starting to feed because now I opened the door,
Mm.
you know. And yeah, I know Cape Town was doing the same, but here in KZN, I think Chow Time was the first feeding organization that carried on during COVID. And then you found different places coming up. I've been given a lot of sponsors. I got sponsors from a lot of places, but some things I wouldn't want to mention because it's really disappointing when it was coming to finance. You know, people had stolen money from Chow Time that was allocated from Chow Time to Chow Time.
Mm.
People had taken it, and you know, I just turned away. I walked away from it. I reckon if this is not coming to where it's allocated to and it's getting used for X, Y, Z, I washed my hands from it and I walked away from it. But yeah, we're still surviving. We're still pushing forward.
Mm.
You know, the important thing is, as I say again, is honesty.
Yeah. How do you maintain it now that you're in Australia?
I'm not going to let it run. Unfortunately, I'm not going to let it run for exactly the same thing I just said to you now.
Yeah.
Money makes funny. Some people are going to say that they're coming to collect stuff on behalf of Chow Time, and some people will give money, and some people do this, and it doesn't ever reach the community. I've experienced it big time, so I've learned along the way.
Mm.
So I'd rather not have Chow Time's name be dragged through the mud. When I do come down to South Africa to visit, I'll make it known like what I've done now last year, and I'll go around and I'll assist where I can, and I'll just run it. But my mother and my daughter Celeste will be assisting the old age home, will be assisting the schools and a few places where they'll be handing out polony and that kind of stuff, you know, every week. Yeah, so at least that will be covered.
Okay. What's some of the best memories that you can say that you've kept from doing this?
Okay, the first one was a lady in Alabama Road. My friend Shelfie's mother. She turned, I think it was 89 or I don't know what it was.
Mm.
So a friend of mine's wife, he lives in Bonner Avenue. I confronted her, I said, listen, there's an old lady, it's her birthday. What will it cost for a birthday cake for her? She said, no, don't worry, I'll bake a cake for her. And I spoke to other people and we managed to get her little gifts. We got a walker. We got her quite a lot of stuff. That is one of them. And the other one is right, going to Australia.
Mm.
You know, those are things that I feel are good rewards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could take anything from Australia and implement it here, what would it be?
Hey, to be honest with you, that's a very, very tough question. Very, very tough question. Because I don't think the people want all of what Australia government does for the people.
Mm.
Honestly, because there in Australia, the grass doesn't grow. I don't know. I don't know how many inches I can say, and it gets sorted out. There's no water leaks. There's no one goes hungry. If I could get the government to think of the way the Australian government thinks, I would like to bring that home.
Mm.
Honestly speaking,
The government.
the government. That is where we need to start with the government. Because in Australia, if there's no food in your home and you go to them, they've got big, excuse me, big organizations where you go weekly and you go and you collect your food. They help you pay your rent. They help you pay your utility bill.
Mm.
They help you pay for everything. They don't take the money and sink it and put it in your back pocket. Yes, your tax is high. Your tax is high, but it's high for a reason. Because you never know, one day if you won't be working, although this work for everyone there, you won't be working, and the same high tax that you're paying is going to come right back to you.
What's the unemployment rate like there?
I'm not lying to you, but I think I've seen maybe one guy push a cart, and it's by choice. not to say was kicked out. The government looks after their people. They got shelters. If you go to the government, they'll give you a coupon for a meal, and there's a shelter you can go stay in. So I haven't seen any people that are living got absolutely nothing there myself. I don't know if it's the area that I live in, but yes, maybe in other areas where the different, indigenous people from Australia live, probably in those areas, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Aborigines, as I said, I don't want to say the wrong thing to anyone or create anything. But there too, the government looks after Aborigines as well. And when I look at those people, I would like to go into their community and do what I'm doing, what I was doing here in Wentworth, and create that feeding vibe, cook the big pots of food and get the people to come and, just grab a hot meal every day, because there is a few places that I've seen on YouTube that people are having a bit difficult, but as I say, the government does give you a coupon, so it's entirely up to you what you do with the coupon.
Excellent. I've really enjoyed this show. In wrapping it up, is there anything that you would like to say to the people from your side?
Excuse me. Only thing I can say is just be nice. That's all. Be nice and support each other.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for having us here at your beautiful home. And we hope that you travel back safely to Australia. And we hope that your spirit, your influence, and people watching this, whether it be here, whether it's shared in Australia, they are actually motivated and influenced to start and continue this work that you've started here in the community. Thank you very much for having us as well. Until we meet again, Uncle Tom.
It was only a pleasure, because you guys are actually the first ones that ever came and showed the effort and the interest in the effort that we've done in Wentworth, especially the two old ladies that used to help me, Tibetan and Chilean. Yeah, they really worked hard, But anyway, yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you, man. Till the next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy. Peace, love, joy, like a river, mountain, fountain. I'm out.